I love this rule because it doesn't even seem like a rule. It seems a little bit like good advice, that your Christmas cookies should look like Christmas cookies. Now, I don't even know, maybe I'm sure probably not all of you celebrate Christmas, but at least everyone here could probably guess or imagine in their head what a Christmas cookie might look like. And of course, there are many different kinds, so probably every single one of you could have a different image in your head right now, and you'd all be right. I'm willing to bet no one has this picture in your head. Like if they served these, like if they had these, it's snack time today, and you saw them, you might have a lot of questions. You might think, are those edible? Are those filled with poison? Who made those? Not one of you would say, what's with the Christmas cookies? No, that wouldn't be the question. But these are Christmas cookies. And they were not made by a 4-year-old. They were not made in some horrific kitchen blowing up accident. The story goes back a few years. There was a mom. She was preparing a holiday party, and she had a list a mile long and about this much time to do it. So she had no choice but to resort to delegation. So she turned to her husband and her son. And she said, I need to run to the store. I've got some errands to run. I need you guys to help me out and make a batch of my Christmas cookies. Now I've made all the instructions are on this recipe card. There's only a few steps, only a few ingredients. I know you guys can do it. Pew, she goes. Husband and son start collecting the ingredients. They're kind of excited about this because you see, they love Christmas cookies, especially the eating part of them. But then they start talking about how it's unfair that every year Mom has this party. She makes these cookies. They want to try one. No, those are for the guests. Not fair. Then they came up with an amazing idea. They said, if we make these cookies as disgusting looking as possible, no one will want to eat them. There'll be more for us. This was their plan. So they pulled out the food coloring and started making pink frosting and purple frosting and Army Man green frosting and black frosting, the traditional Christmas colors. And they pushed aside the normal Christmas cookie cutters and pulled out things like coyotes and palm trees and apples and feet and hands, not mittens, hands. And they started making these cookies as ugly as they could. And just as they finished is when Mom came home. And Mom walks in. She comes to see these cookies. She's like, what's this, you guys? What's going on here? And they said, those are the cookies. She's like, no. What are you no, these are disgusting. These don't look like cookies. Are you guys idiots? What were you thinking? Well, they were still pretty excited about their plan, so they told her the whole thing, and she's like, oh my gosh, you are idiots. And she's kicking herself because she wants nothing more than to go back to the store where they had the little display of Martha Stewart looking cookies. She didn't have time. She's scrambling. She didn't have time to make cookies. She didn't have time to make more, so she planted herself at the front door before people started to arrive. Before she said, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, she said, I did not make those cookies. People were like, what are you talking about? She told them the story. They kind of chuckled. Then they saw the cookies and they laughed harder, right? Some of them cried. And what was interesting is later on in the evening, there was someone who was brave enough, I don't know if she had too much eggnog or what, she decided to try one of these cookies. And they were delicious. And everyone was like, really? Those are good, huh? Well, let me try one. The original plan of the husband and son completely backfired. All the cookies were gone. And they said, next year we just have to make them uglier. And somehow they were allowed to try. It was such a hit, they were allowed to try. So they've been doing this year after year after year after year. Eventually, they could not stop just once a year. They moved on to cakes. That guy up there, that's the son. That's not the dad, that's the son. And the one in the middle, that's a graduation cake, okay? These guys are breaking rules left and right, aren't they? They're making Christmas cookies that don't look like Christmas cookies. They're making graduation cakes that do not look like proper graduation cakes. What are they doing? Having fun, creating memories. They have created a tradition that has now been in effect for over 20 years. That's how long they've been doing it. In fact, these pictures were sent to me by the mom. Now she's a fan. Everyone looks forward to it. It's a big family tradition. In fact, Grandma, a couple years ago, asked for an ugly birthday cake. She said, I just wanted green, honey. And they're like, oh, we can make it green, Grandma. Don't you wait. Don't you worry. So what I love is I share this story almost every time I speak, and then sometimes people like you take it and run with it. So I was speaking at a school district in southeastern Wisconsin, and it was a small school district. I was speaking to the staff, and a few months later, the superintendent emailed me and told me that one of their teachers had fallen ill. And he said that they were trying to come up with a creative way to raise some money to help offset these medical expenses. So what they decided to do was to host an ugly cake auction. They invited the students and families to bake and decorate ugly cakes. And they brought them in, invited the community into the gym, and they'd auction them off. And whatever money they raised would go to this family. He told me they had 80 cakes. They had 800 people show up in the gym, and they raised $15,000. And you know what was the cool part is that he sent me pictures of some of the cakes. If that is not a $1,000 cake, I don't know what is, right? Then there's this one, Ugly Bug, and my favorite one. Yeah, if you keep looking at it, new things keep popping out, right? It's like it's bananas, broccoli, bow tie. I'm pretty sure there is a pork chop in there somewhere. Keep looking, keep looking. So here's the question is, what are the things that you do every holiday, every month, every week, every day, because you've always done them that way? What would happen if you tinkered? What if you tried something different? Without fully knowing what would happen, just run with it. Just see what will happen. Experiment.